So, we've come to the conclusion of the first round of group games at the Women's Rugby World Cup. And if I could say anything about it, I am a bit disappointed. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Now, a lot of the games have been one-sided, and as a sports fan, I should be left wanting more. Like, I should be left on the edge of my seat. Like, I should be like, which side is going to win, or which side will do better. But what I have been seeing is just one-sided games, and I just think to myself, like, could this tournament be formatted in a way where we're seeing some of the best sides face each other earlier on? Like, at the 2023 Men's Rugby World Cup, we saw New Zealand and France taking on each other in the group stage, and whether that could happen in the women's game, we don't know. But I've been a bit disappointed so far because it hasn't really left me wanting more or leaving me on edge, but rather as someone who's just like, meh. Or that's the way I've seen it though. Like, the closest game I saw was the France-Italy game, and I only watched the first half of that. And to briefly talk about that game, like, I don't understand why Italy have this ability of ruining it for themselves. Like, this happens in the men's game as well. Like, I was watching the France-Italy game, and Italy conceded a penalty towards the end of the first half, and I just thought to myself, like, you didn't need to do that, do you? Like, imagine Italy going at half time 7-0 down, and they come in and they went into the second half full of confidence, believing that they can get something from that game, but they didn't. But unfortunately, they didn't get anything from that game, and for me, it's because they have this strange ability of of thinking, oh, we can get something out of this game, and then they remember that they're Italy, and they're not supposed to beat big sides. Like, I don't know, honestly. Yeah, let's just move on. Another thing I'd like to talk about is the tournament as a whole. Now, I did bemoan that there were one-sided games, and I just think to myself whether the tournament could be formatted differently. Like, maybe we see 2 leagues of 8, perhaps. I don't know. Like, maybe we see 1 league of 8 with teams of a similar quality, and then we'll see another league of 8 featuring teams of similar quality. Could that be better? I don't know, but we just keep thinking. I'm not sure, like, because for me, being brutally honest, I haven't really enjoyed the tournament so far. Like, it doesn't really get going until the knockout stage, because of the gulf in quality between certain sides, and I just think to myself, like, it hasn't made for very interesting viewing. Let's be honest. Like, you just got. Honestly, I'm just confused at, like, but what are your thoughts on the games so far? Like, have you enjoyed them? Have you not enjoyed them? And one thing, yeah, I know I've just said that the tournament doesn't really get going until the knockouts, but this is a problem that's shared with the Netball World Cup, because I remember watching that a couple of years ago, and that was one of the first things that came to mind. Like, when you're watching a tournament such as the World Cup, you should be left on the edge of edge of your seat from the group games all the way through to the final, not watching one-sided games at the group stage. But I suppose that's an issue where the higher ups at rugby are looking at, and they're probably wondering, how do we make this tournament better? I don't know, could we introduce promotion and relegation? I'm just throwing that out there, but what are your thoughts? Right, okay. If I can have one positive, is that I like that England games are spread across the country rather than just being held at Twickenham. Because looking at previous tournaments where England have been host, I mean, we could look at Euro 2020, where England played all their games at Wembley, or most of their games at Wembley anyway. Or we could look at the 2015 World Cup, where England played most of their games at Twickenham, bar one against where they played Uruguay in Manchester. And I've just got to think to myself that, yeah, I think it's great that England play their group games across the country rather than just at Twickenham, because then it gives a chance for people who don't live in London to experience the national team. Like, and this was the case at the Euros in 2022 as well, where the Lionesses played their group games across the country rather than just at Wembley. I think that's a good idea, and this is something that should happen at future tournaments where England are hosting, or where England may host. Like, don't just stage games in London, or games where England are playing in London, but rather have games across the country, because there aren't just England fans in London, but across the country as well. But what's your thoughts on that? One more thing. I find it interesting that England started their campaign in the north, like how the Lionesses started Euro 2022 in the north as well. And that just got me thinking whether there are more female sports fans in the north than in the south. Like, and this is something that takes me back to my school days. One more thing, I find it interesting that the Red Roses started their game, started their campaign in the north, like how the Lionesses started their Euros campaign in the north as well. And it's got me thinking whether there are more female sports fans in the north than in the south. Like, because most of the women I've spoken to in the south, they don't seem very sporty, but look from the outside looking in, I see that there are more female sports fans in the north than in the south. But I don't know. I could be wrong, but let me know on that, because that, for me, that's something that's very interesting to me, because it could have been easier for England to play at Twickenham, but why would they do that? But anyway, let me know on that. Are there more female sports fans in the north than in the south? Right. Okay. To close out, what are your thoughts on the tournament so far? Have you enjoyed it? Have you not enjoyed it? Like, what have you liked about this tournament so far? And what are the the issues surrounding the tournament.